Hi everyone, I'm Smriti and I'm a head coach at Leverage Edu. And Leverage Edu is India's best and most trusted university admission service, which provides you end to end services, right from helping you understand your profile, which schools are the best for you, and helping you settle down with accommodation in the city of your dreams and the university of your dreams. So, if you want like a free counseling session and would like to approach Leverage Edu to plan your journey abroad, visit us on leverageedu.com. The question that we are going to be exploring in today's webinar is one that's oft asked, right? And it is something, it's a dilemma that everyone faces at any point of time. Every student who is thinking of a graduate education, of a postgraduate education, faces this. And this question basically is that is there a right time to do your master? There is extensive literature around it, and there are different contradictory viewpoints around the idea of when should be the right time to do your masters. But how we are going to go about this today is that there are four questions which we will explore, which are important for you to know answers to before you go ahead and think about getting a master's degree. And then we're going to look at both pros and cons of, doing a master's right after your graduation or doing a master's after some years of experience. So, what are the two options that people have when they're thinking about a master's degree? After your undergraduate degree is over, the first option is that right after your undergraduate degree is done, you go ahead and enroll in a master's course. The second option that people have is that you work. You work for 2 years, you work for 5 years, you work for 7 years, and then you go ahead and acquire a master's degree and get that postgraduate education. So, among these two options, which option suits you best is what you need to decide and what you need to make this decision on the basis of. Because there is no one path fits all. And I think this has been a consistent theme in the past webinars as well, that most of these decisions need to be personalized and they need to fit into your trajectory. You do not need to mold yourself on the basis of a certain trajectory. You need to decide where you are at in your career, where you are at in your understanding of where you want to be, and then make this decision, right? So, I think the disclaimer that I want to give before starting out with the exploration process and the questions that you need to kind of have responses to before you make this decision is the fact that this is a this is a question that has no uniform answer because there is no right time as such to do your masters. Every person's right time is different, and as cliche and idealistic it sounds, it is true because every person's journey, every person's understanding, every person's career growth is something that's different. So, what are the four questions that you actually need to respond to and think and reflect about before you go ahead and make this decision? The first is, why are you considering getting a master's degree? Because there can be many reasons. It's possible that you're not sure of what you're going to do next in your career, and going back to school seems something like that's a safe thing to do. Or you want to do a master's because it'll help you successfully grow, right? Or it's possible that what you desire to do actually is something that can only happen if you get a master's degree. And but it's also possible that you're doing a master's at this point of time because you feel a certain societal pressure, because you feel like you've not you've not been doing well in your career and you want to take your career to the next level, and society says that doing a master's will be the best way to take your career to the next level, and that's the reason that you're wanting to do the master's. Or it's a distraction to buy you more time, right? Because you don't know what you're going to do next. You have no idea about your career, where it's headed, and will help you get more time to think, or it is going to make you feel like you're doing something with your life. So there are a lot of people who are unhappy with the work that they are doing, and they think that a master's degree, will help them figure out what's the next step. And But that is a backward process. You don't do a master's degree and then figure out what's the next step is. You think about what the next step is and then see if a master's degree is essential for that next step. So your master's degree needs to be a bridge that brings you closer to your goal and you to your determined career aspiration. It's not a waiting room as such wherein you can loiter around, think, and try and decide what you're going to be doing next. Now, the second question that one needs to explore is that at this point of time, if you land a better paying position, if you land a good job in a very exciting role, would you still pursue a master's degree? And this is relevant for people who've been working for a few years and also relevant for undergraduates. If you land a good job in an exciting role, would you pursue a master's degree? So, the idea basically behind this question is to understand, is this degree really essential for you to succeed in the field of your desire? Or do you want to do this degree to just make yourself feel qualified, right? Would getting more hands-on experience get you the same results? It's possible that working for a long period of time would get you the same result. Or would focusing on a degree be better? Would putting all your focus in landing into a better position take your itch to do the master's degree? So sometimes what we do is we often forget that there are more than one ways to the success that we desire, to the success that we want, and the success that we aspire to have. We just have to be willing to get out of our comfort zone, right? So it is possible that while a master's degree can make things easier for you, it is also possible that you work for a couple of years at a better position at a nice company and therefore go ahead and climb the ladder. The third question that we have to keep in consideration is pursuing a master's degree something you want or something others want from you? And that's also very, very important, especially in the context of Indian society. We live in a society where expectations, both from students, expectations of parents, expectations of extended family, they are mammoth. And to be able to fulfill all of those expectations is something that most of us desire to do. So, more often than not, our decision to undertake certain education is influenced by those ideas. So, in this, we have to necessarily kind of understand if our decision to do a master's is our own, right? Because more often than not, it's been impressed upon us. It's been told to us that going to a good college is the key to success. Studying is the key to success. Your bachelor's degree might not give you too much value, would not give you a rewarding career, and they're not enough. So go ahead and take a master's degree. Go ahead and do another degree, right? So, and a lot of people still ask, when are you going, where are you going to get your education? And there are many employers who desire more qualifications, but your desire to pursue another degree should be your decision, right? Because there are employers out there who value hands-on experience, who do not need you to have those multiple degrees. So this needs to be extensively just your decision, right? You have to be willing to shut everything out, have those horse blinders on, and get clear about the reasons behind your pursuit. So even if you want to pursue an MBA solely for the purpose of earning a better salary, getting compensated in a better manner, that has to be your decision. It doesn't have to be somebody else's decision, or you need to not be coerced by society or by other people while making this decision, right? So a lot of people go ahead and do these things and undertake these degrees because they want to make others happy, right? They want to meet expectations, they want to eliminate questions, but these are not expectations you have from yourself. So you have to be bold enough to follow your own expectations and to decide your own path towards success. Now, what's the fourth most important question that you have to answer before you decide if it's the right time for you to do, a master's degree or not? Is this how is this degree going to impact your career and future, right? And here, talking to a lot of people will help. So before you apply, you need to get to know what are the benefits of this degree, right? What is going to actually happen? Will you get a better job? Will you get a better position? Will you get better skills? So while master's degree can provide many dividends, the whole process can be sacrificing and can be taxing because it needs you to invest time. It needs you to shut yourself out from the industry for a certain period of time. It needs you to invest a certain amount of money within itself. So the impact of this degree is something that you need to necessarily be very, very, very aware of, right? Your reasoning needs to be able to withstand the difficulties that are going to arise out of your decision, right? Because there are going to be difficulties. You might have to shift pace, you will have to quit your job, you might have to juggle a full time job while taking classes, part time course, this and that. So these difficulties are not going to go away, right? You might have to take additional loans. And then how do you go ahead and pay off those loans? Then you won't have financial responsibilities as an adult. You might have financial responsibilities. You'd have to figure out how you will go ahead and deal with those financial responsibilities. Are you going to use your personal savings? What are you going to do? Therefore, having a solid purpose for going for a master's degree is going to be able to make you clear about what you hope to get out of it, right? And figuring it out later is something that it doesn't afford you the luxury of. So your choice to pursue your master's degree should be very clear, and it should be very intentional, and it should help you get closer to the career of your dreams, right? Because any other reason, if there's any other reason to why you want to do your master's degree, it should be reconsidered. You should think about it more. Now let's talk about three reasons why studying a master's right after your bachelor's degree is something that's a good idea. And then I'm going to give you three, four reasons as to why waiting a little and getting more work experience and then studying your master's is a good idea. Therefore, you will realize that there are pros and cons to both. And you need to figure out that for you, the pros outweigh the cons for which decision, and then make the decision on the basis of that, right? So, what are the reasons why studying a master's right after graduation, after graduating your bachelor's, is a good idea? It's a good idea because you're younger, you have more energy, right? Uh, it's for an early master's degree, the advantage is that you will be able to put in that time. A lot of people delay their masters, they can start working, get a salary, get an apartment, but that delay becomes infinite, right? Because then you have more added responsibility. So after graduation, if you're just after graduation enrolling into a master's, you will have the energy and motivation to study more easily, right? You'll get used to the whole rigorous schedule for the master's degree because you have become used to the bachelor's degree as well, right? You'll be okay with managing class, homework, studying. You won't have a nag at the back of your mind that you have other things to do and you should be juggling multiple things at the same time. So this this lack of responsibility at the starting, just right after your bachelor's, can be in a sense a motivator which can help you do better in your master's degree, because the more responsibilities that you have at a later point, you kind of get tied down. That's like a simple idea. Now the second thing will be that it will help you define your goals and targets, right? Because most of us, when we decide what our bachelor's degree is going to be, we haven't had the kind of exposure wherein we make the most informed decisions, right? We don't know what the actual job market looks like. So we want to become a risk analyst, a financial analyst, or an investment banker, but we don't know what an investment banker does, or we don't know how hard it is to be an investment banker or to be a risk analyst and what kind of work it actually entails. So there's going to be a switch. A lot of people do go ahead and switch degrees during their studies. So during the first years of your bachelor, you don't concern yourself with the idea of a job, right? Or with the idea of a career. That's not how a lot of people go into the bachelor's with. So when they get internships and when they don't really enjoy their jobs or the direction in which the career is going, it comes like a shock, right? So choosing a master's degree then helps you acquire the subject you choose, right? The field you're in, your personality, your character. It then better outlines your purposes, goals, and aspirations. For example, if you've studied English literature, but then you've become interested with marketing, you do go ahead and enroll in a marketing course as for your master's, or you go ahead and enroll in a master's of business administration. That degree then helps you command your career, and that helps you choose and decide for yourself what your career trajectory is going to be like, because now you have seen a little of what is happening, right? The last would be that you grow and study with your own generation, right? So there are generational gaps going on, even between like first years and second years in college. There's a huge generation gap. But the kind of chasm that arises between you and those kids that won't get off your lawn in a few years, that is different. So you have to realize that the younger the generation, the smarter it is. So everything will get harder as time flies. From understanding, impressing a teacher, for your practical seminars to acquiring a scholarship, etc., etc. So as you grow older, things become more difficult. The younger you are, the smarter you are. So going for a master's at an earlier and more inexperienced phase can mean you'll be allowed to shadow teachers. You'll be allowed to shadow speakers. You'll get an insight of the industry you've chosen for yourself, right? And you'll be able to manage things more easily. Now let's talk about reasons for doing a master's later in life. Like, let's play the devil's advocate over here. The first is that you will have more experience than the rest, right? Now, a later master's degree's biggest advantage is that you have work experience. You have a clearer path and idea what you want, and where you want to go. And you're not a kid anymore. Classes will be easier for you to understand because you have practical training backing you up, right? And you will also get more of the same classes because it's possible that your work has added a nuance or a perspective to your understanding you wouldn't have had earlier, right? The second thing is you will know what you're looking for. So a master's degree means to specialize in something. Right out of your bachelor's, also you have an idea, but you're still not that old. You still don't have so much experience and exposure. But after some years' work experience, you know what you want, right? You will be able, or you'll be capable of combing through the curriculum and deciding, yes, this is what I want to learn. If I'm looking at business analytics, I want to learn statistics, I want to learn calculus, I want to learn data representation, visualization. These are the courses that I want to learn. And you will be capable of, making the best of these classes. You'll choose useful classes, not just the fun ones, right? Not the ones that will give you the easiest A's or the easiest grades. You will choose what will help you build those skills that you need to get to the career that you want. The next would be that it's the easiest way to change career, right? You have a job, you want to study for a master's, you can take a break for your master's and then decide if your job, the job that you were earlier doing, is really what you wanted. Or if you want to go ahead and change your career path, right? And even better sometimes is that you go ahead for a master's and you discover that your job was already awesome and you come back with bigger and more knowledge and better ways of making things work. So in either case, in the case that you're looking to go ahead and switch, or in the case that you're coming back to the same job with better knowledge, with better skills, it's a win-win. The last would be that you have money to fund your education, to fund your studies, right? A master's degree is an expensive investment into yourself, and you will if you go after some years of work, you will have like the capacity to pay the fee for yourself. You will not ask for an allowance from your parents, and you will not go ahead and be dependent as such. You'll be a more empowered person while making that decision to go ahead and do a master, right? You can depending on your savings, you could get scholarships and how much, like, you can decide locations, etc., etc. The better idea is that you study for a master's degree no matter when, right? The timing of your master's degree is a very, very personal decision. And only you will know when you're ready and also in the mood to go to college for a postgraduate degree. right? So I can't like give advice as such that, okay, go ahead, do your bachelor's, work for 3 years, then get a master's, or work for 5 years, then get a master's, and that'll be the best, right? You just have to think carefully before you decide. Now, the right time to go to graduate school is when you know that you can be a very successful graduate student. You will have to be a very effective planner. You will have to take initiative. You will have to be somebody who is mature so that you can rebound from the disappointments that you face in the school. And you will also have to have a lot of energy within yourself to complete long projects, to work on multiple assignments, to work on multiple classes, do much homework, etc., etc. So you'll be like you will need to be very mentally available and very mentally ready for the Herculean task that is graduate education, right? And if you're not ready yet, if you don't feel ready yet, you can be in the future, right? So with practice and commitment, you can learn to be great at anything. So if you right now are not somebody who's an effective planner, or you feel like you don't have the maturity for graduate school, it will not add too much value, then you take your time, right? Prepare yourself for your future. Keep an eye on the programs that you kind of, are inclined towards, and think about it. Think about how you're going to go about it, and, what you want to get and how you want to get there. So you will never be too old or too young to pursue graduate studies. And that's something that a lot of people do. I'm 23 years old and I'm applying for an MBA. Am I too young? No, you're not too young. If you feel that this is the right time for you to be applying for an MBA program, it is. I'm 30 years old and I want to now get a master's in statistics. Do you think I'm too old? Will I not fit in with my class? No, you're not too old and you don't have to fit in your class. It's okay if you stand out. The basic idea for graduate studies is to increase your exposure, to increase your understanding, to get to know diverse perspectives. Therefore, classes like more and more graduate colleges are also trying to make their classes diverse. If the idea is to have more diversity and having both old and young people to balance out the energy and experience is something that they are seeking. And hence, there is no right time to do your master's. When you think is the right time to do your master's, it is. For those who missed, and I think this is just about it from my side for today. For those who missed this webinar, you can watch it on Leverage TV and also on YouTube on the Leverage Edu channel. Leverage Edu has also come out with India's largest study abroad scholarship worth 5 crore. So if you're somebody who is an admit for any institution abroad, you can apply for a scholarship. It's a very simple process. You just have to go to leverageedu.com. And yes, keep tuned every day. Like we're bringing great content, so keep tuned every day. And have a good day, everyone. Thank you so much.